5, 4. Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast for the recently deceased. I'm the boss, Hosferatu, and with me tonight is Stephen Anthony from Dark Claw Studios. How we doing, Stephen?
Haas, we are doing really, really well. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain. Super stoked to talk about this movie.
Yep.
I had a great week. Watched it twice.
Oh, so yeah, me and the Beautiful Human, we're gonna go out and we're gonna see next week's podcast tonight. But if we have time, we want to see it together a second time.
Yeah,
That's how good this movie is.
absolutely.
So good.
Yeah, I did see it twice. I got to see it with two different groups of people, which was really nice to get all their feedback. And yeah, I'll be seeing Weapons today at 2:30. I think is the
You go for the 2 o'clock. I believe
Yeah.
it's 2:17.
Yeah,
It's like the weirdest time. It shows at
yeah,
2:17.
something weird like
We'll
that.
be at the 8 o'clock viewing if you want to stick around and watch it a second time.
I might come back.
Yeah, man.
All right. Uh,
Are you gonna bring Sal with you?
yeah, he's my movie buddy.
Do you ever bring Pitt with you to a movie?
Oh, all the time.
And how is he? Does he? I'm afraid he's one of those people that would yap during a movie, or does he
No,
actually?
no, and I would say 50% of the time he falls asleep. So he'll like wake himself up with a snort, and just kind of elbow him. It's truly brilliant.
How do we get Pitt as a guest host? We got Ari Loebin. We don't get Dave Pitt.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I built a supercomputer for his son for Christmas 2 years ago. So
That's right.
we know he has the gear to do it from home. So there's
I
no
think he doesn't
excuse.
have the gear to do it from inside his own brain.
Brain. Yes, that's true. That's true. All right. So today we'll be discussing Together. Years into their relationship, Tim and Millie find themselves at a crossroads as they move to the country. With tensions already flaring, an encounter with an unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. Written and directed by Michael Shanks, starring real life married couple Dave
Yes,
Franco and Allison Brie.
I did not know they were married. I thought because I know Allison Brie's work from Glow, which is phenomenal, which your brother actually told me about to check it out years and years ago. She's a very, very powerful actress. I've never seen anything that Dave Franco's done before. Familiar with his brother stuff. Obviously, they're two different people.
Yeah.
So I assumed Allison was going to carry this movie. I just assumed that, her weight, her gravitas, her power as an actress. I honestly feel she was amazing. They both were amazing in this movie. I gotta tip the hat though, just slightly, to Dave Franco. I feel he neither carried this movie, neither they relied on each other, and they were a couple throughout the movie. Um, if we're going by who acted just a little bit better from two phenomenal performances, I give it to Dave Franco. Do you have an opinion on who showed up better in this movie, Haas?
Yeah, and I honestly, it pains me to say that I do think Dave Franco's star shone a little brighter. Um, as much as I love Alison Brie and all of her work, and
Mm-hmm.
and she's a great comedic actress,
Mm-hmm.
and she has amazing timing. I don't know if she just felt like this was a little out of her wheelhouse or what.
Well, has Alison Brie, because you're the expert of all things horror, has she done horror before?
Yeah, yeah. They actually, I think they're both in the movie too, but the they're in two different couples. I think it's called The Rental,
Mm.
where they go to an Airbnb on a beach and they get stalked and killed systematically, one at
Nice.
a time.
That's always fun.
Um, I believe Franco was in it. Let me check. No, it was Dan Stevens. So Dan Stevens, Allison Brie, The Rental. Great movie. I think great. 7 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10.
Sure.
So it was fun. Fun thriller slasher, lots of jump scares. Yeah, and she was great in it. She might have been better in it than she was in Together. Not saying that she was bad at all, because she wasn't. I'm just saying that I think Dave Franco um, definitely crushed the role. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah.
There's one specific line. I hope I remember it because I don't want to say it now because I really want to keep it in the
Oh, sure.
timeline. Where he just says a line that's so effing good, and if not, I'll just save it for the BTS for the post wrap up that we do. Nate, what score do you give this? What score do you give Together?
All right, so well, let me give the rundown for the viewer real quick. What we like to do is give you guys a spoiler-free review, number 1 out of 10, and then we're going to move into spoiler territory where we deep dive discuss the film. My wrap up on Together is I loved it. If, like even the backstory with Dave Franco, just like so eerily perfect. Some great jump scares. I loved all of the effects. A lot were practical, but the CG still looked good. Still looked really good, actually.
CG did not pull me out of the experience whatsoever during this movie.
Yeah.
That jump scare under the blanket,
Oh yeah,
I think it
yeah,
was like the first dream sequence.
yeah. The first train sequence.
Oh fuck,
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
that was really good.
Yep. The long and the short of it, to get us to spoiler territory, I give Together a 9 out of 10.
Whoa, a 9 out of 10 from the Haas. Okay, which apparently he's not going to explain himself, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't need to explain himself to us. All right, before I give my score, which is going to be scores, the explanation is coming. Does this movie unseat your number one? Is it in the number one position? Is it in the flagpole position?
It is not. It is not. To Bring Her Back is still above it, even though they both received the same score. It is firmly in second place behind Bring Her Back, though.
This movie does not unseat my number one, which so far is the role of Jenny Penn. Um, I give it 2 scores. I give the movie that it was an 8. I give my version of it, my edit of it, which I'll explain at the end during the timeline, a 9. One simple edit, which I'll explain after, it involves the Karate Kid, would have made this movie a 9 for me. But flawless movie from beginning to end. That is so well done in every aspect, from the writing to the directing to the acting. I just I would have done it slightly differently. I give Together, as it stands, an 8.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward, we are entering Spoiler City. Um, if you haven't seen,
Population U.
yes, if you have not seen the movie, turn back now. Unless you don't care about spoilers, then stay tuned.
Just watch the shit out of us. Just
Yeah,
take us in.
just love it because I know we're gonna have a lot to say.
It is a love story.
It is. It is a love
Is that fair
story.
to say?
It is.
Before we get into spoiler
Yeah,
territory, is it fair to say this is a love story?
absolutely. I would tag romance on this movie. And there is a handful of good laugh out loud one liners in this film.
That's the line that gives. There's a funny moment that I just give Dave Franco. I was like, son of a bitch. I'm gonna look out for the next thing he does because
Oh
you
yeah,
know it's coming up. You know you're gonna say it if it's in the script or maybe it's an ad lib that Mike kept in. So good.
so good.
Damn it.
Um, all right, so what do we start with? We start with Tim and Millie. They're having their party, right? He's flipping through the records, and she comes and finds him in this room all by himself, and when their apartment is seemingly filled with all their friends. And what do
So
you?
that is something that I would do. That's something I have done. I kind of relate with this guy from Jump. I don't like being around people. I really don't. I can be like the social butterfly, whatever, like the life of the party when I walk into good games on Main Street in Oneonta. But people in my house, yeah, no, I get him nesting himself away or hiding himself away somewhere just to be by himself.
Oh yeah. And he uses the excuse, I'm looking for a record, and they have a little conversation, but he still makes her leave so he can take a few more minutes to find that perfect record so he can take a breath or whatever. And then we
He's mentally gearing up to deal with the bullshit that's about to come,
right.
having to fake and lie and pretend to be happy about a move
That
that
is
he doesn't want
that
because
he
he's
doesn't
about
want.
to leave his music career behind, and it's right at the cusp. It's right at the point where he was on a label, and so now he's talking about getting the label back, not getting the label back when he talks to his friends. He's not in a good space.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just kind of going with the flow as far as the relationship is concerned. Do what she wants, keep her happy, and I feel like it's a spot we've all been in, even if you're a woman and you've done that for your significant other. But I feel like I've become complacent and become I want to use his Tim. I've become Tim uh, in a lot of committed relationships, long relationships, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. Even in my marriage, this is what I love about this movie the most is that it's all of their fights I've had. Not only that, but I've had them with my wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife. And so for me, I was like, the first time I watched it, I was just constantly being like anxiety in my stomach triggered by the conversations they're having through the movie.
Sure.
And yeah, and it's amazing to watch it from the outside when you're like, oh my god, this is something so normal. This conversation, this situation is so normal that it's become the dialogue in a horror movie that I'm watching. Like I'm not the only person out there who's like suffered this way in a codependent relationship, especially in the post-COVID world, a relationship that started shortly before COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had to, then you were stuck together for a year, 2 years, and that word stuck or trapped comes up in this film a few times.
A few times.
Yeah. I don't want to digress too much and get into my personal life too much, but
No, but let's talk about the digression or the nature of the digression for just a second, because correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first movie that you and I, from jump, from the bat of our analysis, are talking about a movie on such a personal level.
right.
So, every movie has a metaphor or something that affects something that you and I have been able to map onto and internalize. This movie, maybe it's just the nature of the content of the movie in that we can tag romance in it. We all live life in relationships, and we've all had that personal relationship. So from jump, we can map something on. So, while you're talking about that, that was a comment that I was thinking. I'll save it for the BTS. I just want to say it up front. This movie is very, very personal, very, very real,
Oh
and
yeah.
not to make Millie the villain from jump, because the backstory is she did do the same for Tim. She did put her life on hold,
Right.
and so now it's her opportunity to go to the small town and become a teacher in a community where she can have an impact on the lives of children and not be like one teacher with 40 students.
Right.
She wants that 1 to 15 ratio,
Yeah.
and so that is what's going on at the beginning of this movie that we don't know about.
Right. 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 She sacrificed her life, a good portion of her life, so he could pursue his music career, and now she has this opportunity to become a teacher in a small town, and they're going to leave New York City and move to this small town.
So
And
I didn't. Was it New York City? I wasn't even paying attention. I thought it could have been like Seattle or some shit.
I mean, it could have been anywhere. I just got the feeling. I threw New York
It
on
felt like
there.
New York City
It
for you.
it looked like an upstate New York small town. It felt like New York City. The way he was like, she would drop him off at the train station.
Okay,
Wherever they were, small town USA,
right.
and they could train into the city. Like I've done that so many times. Like it just felt like second nature to me. No, I don't think they ever said New York. To be honest, so it could have been anywhere.
It felt like the West Coast for me. I don't know if it was like San Diego, Washington, or Seattle, Washington State. It felt like that for me. I don't know why, but
Yeah. So he is giving a speech, his farewell speech at the party, and he's obviously super awkward, and this is probably part of what he was trying to get loose and get ready for was was going to have to talk in front of all of his friends, and a lot of people have a public speaking issue. Um, And
That's the
what?
number one fear in real life, by the way, public
Right.
speaking.
That is number two is death. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Number one is public speaking. Number two is death. Yeah. um, so he's wrapping up his speech, and it's kind of going long and awkward, and she has gotten down on one knee behind him, and the whole room is
I
like,
love that awkward scene, and I fucking
yeah,
hate awkward scenes, and
it
I hate them
was,
in comedies, but here it's so.
yeah, it's
Uh,
so real and so cringe, and you could feel it when he turns around and she does this with her hands because she doesn't have a box, and she asks him to marry him in front of all of his friends, and he balks. He totally stutters and doesn't say yes right away. And
but
she's,
we're gonna relate to him again right here.
yeah,
Like it feels like a private joke, but the private joke doesn't exist. This is not, this is not a thing that they've done in their relationship before. So he's like, "Am I supposed to know what's happening?"
yeah,
And I've been there in my committed person relationships, and I guess for somebody else, maybe I'm fucking clueless or as daft as Tim is. Am I supposed to be aware of some shit? Like maybe you tell me like beforehand. Oh, by the way,
yeah.
tonight in front of all of our friends, I'm gonna
I'm
propose or
gonna do
do
something
whatever
crazy.
the fuck
Yeah,
she's doing.
just get ready for it. Yeah, and he just stutters, and he's silent, and he's silent for too long. The audience knows it. They kind of gasp. She kind of stands up and brushes herself off and is like, "Forget it, forget it. It was a stupid joke." And
And
he's
by
like,
audience, let's just clarify: we're talking about the gathering of friends
"Yeah,
in the
I
movie,
was talking about
right?
her friends.
As
Yeah,
opposed to like us and right.
yeah." And then he snaps out of it when she tries to brush it off as nothing, and he's like, "Oh no, yes, of course, yes, of course." I'm sorry, I was
What did she
just, yeah.
propose to him, by the way?
A
Do you remember?
marriage.
Oh, it
She's,
was
yeah,
marriage
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
without a ring.
Without a ring,
Really,
yeah,
really, Millie?
yeah,
No fucking ring.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she's a school teacher. I mean, what's her salary?
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
I
And
don't
he's
know,
and,
but
he, and he's an out of work musician. I mean, they who know I don't know where the money comes from, but I can assume that like they have like money is an issue.
it is an
Um,
issue because they talk
they
about it
talk
later
about
on
it later in
as
the
they get to
film,
the
right?
house.
Yeah,
We didn't put into the budget new phones.
yeah,
You don't have it in your budget to go get a $60 phone from a scumbag corporation, which is where I got my awesome phone for $60. You know, money's a bit tight.
yeah. They
So
just
maybe that's probably why they're moving to the country because it's cheaper to live there.
It's cheaper to live there. Moving is expensive,
Yeah,
and then you have your mortgage. Hopefully, it's less than your city rent. Should be way less than your city rent, but you're also investing into property at this point. So it's like win-win for them for their future, but also they're going to have a tight period until she starts cashing some paychecks from her new
sure,
job, right?
exactly it.
Uh, so I think it pretty much cuts right to them unpacking,
Because
right to them
uh,
unpacking.
I thought it cuts to them like in their bedroom after that awkward proposal. It cuts straight to
Oh,
their bedroom and they're
right,
talking
right,
about
right.
the aftermath of that.
That's right. That's right. And then the first weird dream sequence comes after this.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah. So they have this conversation, and oh my God, did I have this conversation towards the back half of COVID, in bed with my soon-to-be ex-wife, when we were only dating 2 years, and after 7 years we're getting divorced. 5 years ago we could have saved ourselves 5 years of time and heartache
Oh
and
wow.
hardship if we had just had the balls to be honest with each other in this moment. We have this exact conversation. They're both silent in bed. She says, and this is how I know it so perfectly because they're like word for word. She says, "Well, should we just split?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a little late for that." Okay, so should we just split? So non-committal. She's asking him. He says, "Well, isn't it too late?" He puts it back on her. She's like, "Well, yeah, it's too late." It's another non-committal statement. They go back and forth until they just, I guess we'll continue on this path of complacency in this relationship.
It's
Instead,
the inertia of what they have established already versus, the realistic thing. If this is not going to be a thing in 5 years,
let's stop it
let's
now. Let's stop it now.
efficient. Let's cut and
Yeah.
whatever.
No, exactly. And then I think she says that towards the end, something like, it'll be easier to split now.
Ooh, which
Right,
so there's a couple lines that cut in this movie, and Alison Brie delivers them more often than Dave,
right.
and
She
that's one of the lines is that she says that just really just like fuck man, and it makes it so real.
right, but she still puts the onus on him to say yes or no. You know what I mean? Like so yeah, she's the one who's being a little bit more honest and upfront by saying the harder truths, but they're always in the form of a question, and she puts the onus back on him to say yes or no. So she trusts him to say yes. I'm not going to flake on you in the next few years. Yes, this is good. Let's keep it together. Until much farther down the road in the movie where she finally makes up her mind, for one reason or
Okay,
another. Okay, so the creepy dream sequence.
loved it.
So we don't know anything about these characters' backstory at this point, and what do we get? We got an older couple in a bed. Well, we can start with them, right? She is Allison Brie says, or Millie says to Tim, "Would you tell them to stop staring at us?" and
Oh, you okay?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
and he
Oh man, you just brought it back for me.
yeah, and he's like, What?" And the camera pans out, and the bed is long, and it goes into another bed, and the camera turns, and it's an older couple, and the husband is dead and puffy and
Mm,
asphyxiated and vomit and
mm,
some stuff, and
yeah,
the wife is sitting up with this crazed look on her face with this huge ear to ear
yep,
smile,
yeah,
and Dave Franco just tries to hide under his blanket from it, and the head of the wife comes out
yes,
from under the blanket, and he
yes.
lifts it up, and he wakes up, and
Fuck.
I think they're now standing in the driveway parking area of their new home, and
Hmm.
one of them's got a box, or they're looking through boxes outside in the yard, and they start moving in.
Yeah,
And nice transition, nice jump scare.
yeah.
We get a little comedy here, right? Like, we don't know how much time has passed, if it's been days or weeks. Allison Brie is joking with him right away. Millie is joking with Tim right away. Okay, so they got over their fight. Tim does this cute thing. Like, once again, like, if on a dime you're getting like a fly on the wall of their relationship, right? Like, just a romance movie,
Yeah.
a drama with some comedy, a dramedy, right? She picks up a box, and she says to him, "Would you just bring something in while you're standing there or something?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he
It was a
picks her
very
up, and so
yeah, it was
she's
a
holding
very
the box.
relationship
Yeah,
thing to say. It was a very,
yeah,
girlfriend coaxing boyfriend, fiance coaxing fiance thing to say. She wasn't manipulating him, but men from time to time we do need to be encouraged to do what could be interpreted as common sense. Like you're the guy, lift the box. Hello.
yeah,
Um, again, just very, very well written here, very well acted. It feels very, very authentic.
yeah,
It's almost like they put a camera on a real couple without the couple knowing about it.
yeah.
I don't think Tim here is resentful of moving to the country, but it's so silently, subtly stated that he's not 100% in this. Because if he was, guess what he'd be doing? He'd be unpacking shit. He'd be grabbing a box and taking it inside.
Right, right.
So it's a beautiful, beautiful way of showing it without telling it. Loved it.
Yep. Yeah, I would at this point say that aside from any horror element of the film, I really love the authenticity of their relationship. But obviously they've got some serious chemistry, being real life husband and wife.
Mm.
They're both amazing actors, but the writing as well, the dialogue is so real, so authentic. So many times through the movie, I felt, "Wow, I've said that. Wow, that's been said to me." Yeah,
So I know I stuck around for the credits, and I do believe that both Dave and Allison are producers on the film. I noticed not executive producers, so they coughed up some money, but not like a whole bunch.
hmm
How many times do you feel throughout the movie? A, how invested were they in this movie? And I believe a lot, just like Lithgow and Rush were invested in Jenny Penn. I feel they were invested in
Right.
this movie. They definitely put their all into it. How many lines do you think they came up on their own? They added to the script that got into the movie, because I feel
Oh,
it was
there's
around.
there's definitely some ad libbing, especially in the cave. I think
Mm-hmm.
there was some ad libbing around the campfire itself. There was some ad libbing. The hiking was probably some ad libbing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think there was probably a good amount of like, just let the camera roll and you guys talk, and like I'll just cut it. I'll just cut it together.
Right. We'll keep what we
We'll
keep.
keep
Yeah.
what's good, and you know, I bet there was a lot. Um,
Yep.
it was so natural that I would have to guess that there was a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so we're in the house and we're unpacking, and Dave Franco smells a smell.
There's a smell.
There's a smell, and where the fuck is this smell coming from? He starts to walk up the stairs. He's smelling. He's smelling. He smells it in the air up high. He gets on a chair, I think, maybe a step ladder. I can't exactly remember.
One or the other.
Um, there's a light fixture at the top of the stairwell,
Yeah, there is.
and he pulls it out like he's like an automaton. He's doing this robotically.
Yeah.
He's not like investigating. He knows there's something up there. He doesn't get a screwdriver. He pulls the light right out of its
Great
fixture.
word, robotically. He does this because he's going to let us know that something similar had happened in his past. It's so, keep going. It's so well
Yeah,
done.
yeah. It triggered this
Yeah,
traumatic
he's
memory.
triggered.
So he starts pulling out the insulation or whatever it is. He pulls, pulls, pulls. He thinks it's probably now fur. So he hops down and he gets a piece of bubble wrap. He gets back in there and he pulls out. It's about 5 or 6 rats, and
Mm-hmm.
they're all nested up together and they're all kind of stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
And you assume right away that they're all dead, but apparently one of them still had enough life left in it to screech. Another jump scare. he
Yeah,
drops
that's
the
really good.
he drops the ball of rats onto the floor, and it cuts to him and Millie having this conversation where he says, um, "I never told you this before. I never told anyone this before." And when he was a kid, his dad went crazy over a smell in his room.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day he said, clean the room. And the next day he said, clean the room. And the next day he comes home from school and the dad has torn the room apart. And the next day he comes home from school and the dad is in the house with a shit-eating grin on his face. And he looks at his son and he looks at young Tim and he says, I found it. And he goes in there and he had pulled out the light fixture,
Mm-hmm.
and a rat had died, and he was cooking it every time he turned the light on. And he couldn't notice the smell because
Yes.
he lived in the room. And the
Yes.
gradualness, the
Yes.
exposure
The
to it,
slow, gradual cooking of the rat in the
yeah,
fixture. Son of a bitch.
yeah. So he never noticed, and that's why the father noticed. And when he walked in the house and went up those stairs, that smell was the same smell, and so he knew
And that's how he
exactly.
caught it. But we're in a
Exactly.
different world now. We're in the world where things are going to come together. The rats are joined, and you know what we missed, Haas, at the beginning of the movie? There's 2 dogs, and they do it very, very quickly, and they do it
Right,
very, very
right.
deliberately to not give the movie away.
Yeah,
You got, even if you're paying attention, and we both were.
right.
It's like, wait, what the fuck is going on with these dogs? Well, it's going to happen, and that makes me ask questions later on in the movie. When all these things get unraveled, the dogs were different species, if I remember
They
correctly.
were.
That opens up a ton of possibilities for the sequel. But right now, there are, like you said, 5 or 6 rats. One of them still
Yep.
alive, and he just chucks them into the woods with the bubble wrap. I
That's
thought the
about
bubble
right.
wrap was
Yep.
a great touch.
Yep.
I worked as an electrician for, I don't know, 6 months, and turning off the breaker is probably a good idea before you fuck with a fixture. And he's grabbing that bubble wrap, and I'm like, this fucker's gonna get shocked. Jump back. So glad they didn't do that, because that would have been lazy.
Oh yeah.
Because you actually can fuck with a live fixture, and like I do it all the time. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, just great writing here from beginning to end, and now a triggering thing from his past and some trauma that his dad put on him, and just so beautifully woven into the narrative of this story. Very, very well done.
Oh yeah. One thing we also forgot is that at the party before the speech, his friends kind of almost like in charity, feeling bad for him,
Yeah,
offered him this job of playing guitar on the upcoming tour gig. So he's going to be like a touring guitarist on this
yeah.
upcoming gig. So
Which is
that's
important. I alluded to it a little bit when we talked about him being on the label, off the label. That's when that conversation happened.
yeah,
So that was my fault for not giving all the details, and you can be forgiven for not throwing it in until right now.
that's all right. You know, we do the best that we can. It is the fourth agreement.
And the AI cleans up all the pieces and just puts them together seamlessly.
That's right. Um, all right. So I think what we're doing now is he's jamming in his little office on his laptop, and she's like, "Come to bed," and
Is he jamming, or is he using his music as an excuse to not be with
to
her?
not be with her. He is avoiding being with his wife. She comes in and very obviously wants intimacy and says,
Yeah,
"Come to bed with
that's
me.
the word.
Come to
Yeah.
bed with me." And
Hmm.
he says, "I gotta learn these parts." So many parts.
Which, if you're a musician, you're gonna know it the second you pick it up. He probably could have been on stage with like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
10, 15 minutes of preparation, and he would have been fine.
Oh yeah. Oh
This
yeah.
is a stalling tactic. It's the intimacy that's missing. The physical aspect of the intimacy, I'm sure she's missing, but I think she's missing more than that. I think she's missing the togetherness,
Yeah.
the human to human connection. Even if he just held her,
Yeah.
I think she's missing that. On top of missing, at one point later on in the movie, I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit. She's like, you don't fuck me anymore, and now you fuck me out of the blue. But I'm jumping ahead right now. He's using his music to
Right.
duck away from the intimacy that she.
I think she had her first day too that day, or maybe it's the next day. No, it can't be the next day because the next day is the hike. So it had to be her first day. She meets another
Another teacher.
teacher,
Yeah.
name Jamie, played by
Amy.
Damon Harriman.
Yeah.
Um, who's great. He's just fantastic. Like I've never seen this guy
Great.
before. At least
Great.
at least I didn't recognize him, and he was just awesome.
He was awesome. And what I love about this movie is that they introduce him, and he's obviously, and I say obviously, attracted to her. And he's going to show up for dinner in the scene. He's going to bring wine or some shit, and they're going to have a quasi awkward conversation. And Jamie's going to come to the rescue when Tim and Millie are awkward. So you're thinking right away, okay, he's being nice now, but this scumbag, he wants to give her the intimacy and the movie doesn't do that, and it's so
It's
good when
so
it
good
does.
when you find out about when you find out about his motivations. It was such a relief. It was like, oh, thank God you didn't do what I thought you were gonna do.
And it's not a cheap misdirect, and it's not something cheap that they threw in there like,
Nope.
the audience is going to know what's up, so we got to throw like a red herring in there. No, like we're waiting for Elizabeth Shue to show up in season 3 of Cobra Kai, and they put some blonde doctor in there as a misdirect. I'm like, fuck you. And that's not what happened here. And it was again, and it seamlessly went with the narrative of the movie, and it let the audience, our imagination, go to different places and then work its way out all on its own with nothing having to be stated. It was awesome.
Yeah. Um. All right. So she meets the guy. They talk, and Steven definitely gave you everything you need to know about this guy for right now. Um, Back to
Cool.
the I got to learn these parts. She's obviously disappointed when she goes to. So she's about to go to bed, and leave the scene. And he goes, "Well, wait. What about tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Can we go for a hike?" Um, this kind of it might have skipped some dialogue that get we didn't get to see, but we can assume that so this guy tells Millie, did you explore? Do you explore? And she's like, partners? And he's like, no, no, there's some amazing trails around here.
Right.
So we can
He lives in
assume.
the yellow house on the corner. You know, it's such a
Yeah.
small town thing to say, but we're
Right.
neighbors.
Yeah. So now we can assume that he asked her about her day. She told him about her day because he does say later, "Oh yeah, she told me about you," when he meets Jamie. Um, so now he knows about the trails because she told him about her day. Otherwise, why would he be the one to bring up the hike? Um, so the hike tomorrow, yes, the hike tomorrow, confirmed, confirmed. We cut right to the hike tomorrow.
Yep.
Um, and they are city folk, so they're not very well prepared. They're just in shorts and you know sneakers or some kind of hiking shoe that they
The first
probably
time I
have.
went for a hike up here, there's a hiking trail behind my spot, and I didn't know I didn't think a swamp was real. You know, I just saw it in Lord of the Rings and Magic the Gathering, and there's this plush, whatever uh, vista of land. Let me just cut across it because I can. Floomp right the fuck in, and I pulled it out, and I'm like, okay, how much do I give a shit about my sneakers?
Right.
I just go home with one shoe and order new sneakers. My cheap dumbass, went back into the fucking swamp to retrieve the shoe. I did it. I'm still here to tell the tale. So yeah, city people, new in the country, it's a thing. It's
Oh
real.
yeah. Oh yeah. They come to the end of the hike really quickly, but Tim is unsatisfied and finds another trail that looks a little overgrown, but there are bells that mark this trail, and
Awesome, creepy
yeah,
bells.
yeah,
I loved it.
with a cool sigil on them. And he says, "No, look, it's marked. We'll be fine." So they continue down.
Just damn, you're good.
Yeah. So they go.
Nothing.
So they keep going. They keep going, and does it start to rain first? Yeah, it starts to pour. It's pouring rain. They're lost. There's a cool line here where before it rains and they're lost, he pulls out his phone and he goes, "That way's north." And she's like, "Well, what does that mean?" He goes, I don't know. I just thought it would help."
Again, but one of those couple things.
Yeah, like
Here's the guy. He needs to show up. He needs to save the day. I got this cool gadget on my phone. It's gonna help. No, that's fucking useless.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's useless. And it's like he's also relying on her to save him, right? He's
Yeah.
like, I am going to tell you that it's north because I can do nothing with this information. Uh,
But you can.
get me out of this. Like
Right.
you're
Once I give you the gem,
right. You're the
uh,
leader. You're the leader.
it's north.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to have all the information that I don't have, and you're going to be north. Okay. All we got to do is X, Y, Z, and that's not what's going to happen.
That doesn't help at all.
Yeah, they're not familiar with the territory, so north, south, that don't mean shit.
Yeah. Eventually, he will fall into a hole, and she will try to pull him up, but they will fall down together and land in the remnants of what used to be a chapel of some, I would say, like Greek cult.
So
Because,
two things I want to say here. Tim's guyness kicks in yet again,
yeah.
right after the whole North revelation or non-revelation, where he doesn't help her up, and she's like, "I'm okay."
Yeah. No,
So,
no, no, no. This is great. He's like, "Oh, my phone. My demos were on there." And she's like, "I'm okay, thanks." And then the next morning in the cave, she pulls her phone out of a puddle and she goes, "Oh, my phone." And she looks at him. My demos are on there.
it was so good. It was sarcastic and snappy
Oh,
and
it
bitey
was
in
so
just the
good.
best, most authentic couple relationship way.
Yeah.
It was really great. Second thing I have here, um, I think they mentioned it later in the movie where there's pews in the wall. Did you see pews in the wall in this scene?
Oh yeah, I did.
Because we didn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's wooden pews like melded into the wood that shapes the walls of this cavern or whatever you want to call it that they're in.
Okay. Because for me, transmogrification is probably the scariest thing. I use it a lot in
I thought of you the second I saw the pew. The first scene they're in there, they fall in there. I see the pew coming out of the wall, and obviously I know what the movie's about already, right? The melding was not held from view in the trailer. Unfortunately, it didn't get. I didn't get to be surprised by it, but it's okay. The movie's
yeah,
not quite about the the horror they go through. It's more about
yeah, yeah,
the relationship as they go through the
yeah,
horror, right?
yeah.
Um,
They keep the opus and the focus on the nature of their relationship and not the horror elements that they're experiencing.
yeah,
So yeah, I was just you know, mentioning my stuff aside, I was surprised I didn't notice the transmogrification, and it's something I want to look for the second time I see
oh
it because
yeah.
this movie is worth seeing a
So
second time in the
at,
theaters.
at this moment, we definitely got a flashback to those dogs again because we saw the dogs licking from the pool of water in this little rundown
There's the
of
pool of water,
right.
which we figured out all by ourselves
So
without referring to the internet.
so we saw that happen before we saw the dogs, kind of in a weird the thing style meld shake sequence that was so quick we didn't quite get to see what was going on, and that was for the better in my opinion.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
we come to the present. What about water? He pulls out a very little bit of water. He
Yeah,
gives it.
because they need to
Yeah,
survive, so they need water for two people.
right.
And
He gives it to her, and he sees
yeah,
this pool, and she's like, "I'm not fucking drinking that." And
so I just want to point out here, not that I'm trying to defend men everywhere, but this north finding, demo phone having gentleman does go to the pool, and you don't know what the fuck you're drinking. You don't know what's in there. It could be,
yeah,
not that I drank rhinoceros shit out of a safari one time, but there might be rhinoceros shit in this fucking pool. You don't know,
you don't know. Yeah,
and he does it, and I think in a very gallant way.
yeah. Also, like a standard survival is like only drink running water, don't drink still water. So, I don't know how he didn't know that
Pro tip.
because of the next scene where he's trying to build a fire. She sees him stacking the wood, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, you remember how we watched Survivor Man for 10 seasons?" And she's like, "Yeah, I know. I paid attention." And then he like knocks his little TP over, or no, she kicks his TP over when he just moves out of the way and lets her start the fire.
The first time I went camping up here with an ex, um, we're out there, and but she was born up here, and she didn't know how to build a fire any better than I do. It's one of those conversations like, what did they just do? Like, just listen to every single conversation every man and woman had and put it in this movie. It was
Yeah.
so well
No,
done.
so good. Um, they wake up the next morning and their legs are stuck together.
And it's coming. It's not here yet. The precursor's here from mildew.
Mildew!
Mildew.
So they pull their legs apart and she's like, ew, what is that? And he goes, I don't know, mildew? Um, now this is a setup for a callback, and the callback was brilliant.
The
Uh,
callback is why, for me, Dave gets the nod over Allison in two very, very powerful performances.
yeah. All right, it's morning. It's not raining. They manage to climb out, and they manage to find their way home. And I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens the rest of this day before we move
Either.
on to the next like
I'm
big
relying on
scene.
you.
Yeah, the next scene is oh, wait a minute. As soon as they get in the house, they're still dirty. They're still tired. As soon as they get in the house, he grabs her and they kiss passionately for the first time in the film.
So he's, um, you know, the water is in him.
Yeah,
Apparently, the water is the introductory element as to why
right.
the togetherness begins,
Yeah.
and it automatically hits right here. Is this the scene where he's asking her to take him to the train so he can go down to the city to do his gig, and then he doesn't show up for the gig? So this entire movie, He's a man child that's chasing his music career dream, his
Yeah.
unrealistic music career dream. Unrealistic.
Yeah.
Chase that dream, guys. Um, and then and again, it's beautifully shown to us, not stated, that now she's the priority. He's not going to go down, and so is that what's about to happen next?
No.
Damn
No.
it!
Nope. So close. What
Damn
happens
it!
now is their bottom lips get stuck together, and they pull away, and she goes, ah. She's like, did you just bite me? So, I
Right,
don't know what's going on with you. Blah 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 blah. Like 1 second you're cold, the next second you need me. You
but
know.
it's a great special effect that they did, or however they made it happen, where you put like super glue on two fingers and you pull it apart. It's just like,
Yeah. So
um,
she's this is where she says, Tim, if you don't want to fuck me, just say so. And she goes upstairs to take a shower.
goddamn.
We cut to her coming out of she's out of the shower now, and she's like, I'm gonna go into town and get some stuff. And once again, he's this lost man child. Man child is the only way to describe it. He's like, should I come with you? Do you want me to stay here? And she's like, no, just stay and relax. Take a shower. And she gives him like a look, like a girlfriend look, like only a look your wife can give you. Go take a shower. So he's in the shower, and she starts to drive away, and the water kicks in again, and like a magnet, first of all, he kind of phases out of like consciousness, and like a magnet, his whole body gets pulled against the sides of the shower, in the direction of the car as she makes turns, and
Yes,
yeah, and he's like completely out
they're
of it.
connected,
Yeah,
and every turn she makes, what, bam, up
yeah.
against the fucking
He gets
wall,
he gets
in
yeah
the
he
shower stall.
yeah he takes some
Oh
damage
man, I
here.
loved
Yeah.
it. How the hell did I forget that? Son of a bitch, that was so good.
Okay, so now I believe we have the. Does she go see Jamie first? We might have a Jamie scene before he takes her to the before she takes him to the train station. But we know it's starting to escalate, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. We can't have the Jamie scene yet. The Jamie scene's got to be after the train station.
Are you talking about the Jamie scene where she goes to Jamie's house?
Yeah.
Because that's later.
Yeah. Where she goes to his house.
I'm
And
pretty
she's
sure they're gonna. I'm pretty sure he's gonna stalk her,
oh
and they're gonna go to the bathroom, and Jamie's gonna be the teacher that comes in as like Miss whatever her last
yeah,
name
yeah,
is.
yeah. That doesn't happen yet either. But this is what happens next. This is how this day wraps up. She goes to town. She comes back from town. Jamie comes to their house, and he
Yes.
gets invited in. They have a little wine. They talk and laugh and have a great time. But Jamie's like a
Well,
charismatic dude.
okay, so he brings them a bottle of wine. So he's showing up with a bottle of wine.
Yeah,
Why not just bring, if your plan is to get water into them, I'm going to nitpick a little bit here, but it's Monday night quarterbacking nitpicking.
right.
If your plan is to get them infected with this water, why not just bring, I don't know, a bottle of water,
Yeah.
or put water in the wine and screw the cap back?
Well,
Oh,
he doesn't know anything at this point, and he is he gets the story. They tell the story of they found the cave and he came, so now he knows that the likelihood of one, if not both of them being, having ingested this water has happened,
okay.
right? And he probably just is trying to further it along, if he gives them more of the water.
But right now, where we're at in the movie is that he shows up and it's the guy wanting to bang the wife scenario that isn't.
Yes, that's
So beautiful.
that's what
Okay, so that's
yeah
this
that's
scene
that's
right.
what it's selling to the audience, and that's Tim's perspective. Definitely, he's immediately jealous.
Oh yeah.
Especially because Jamie makes oh, this is the boy person friend.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like when they were talking about having a partner and what the language was.
Yeah.
She just said boy partner or whatever she said.
Yeah. Well, she said
But yeah, he
she said
said that's something that she told him she had in conversation. So when it happens, I think he's rightfully not pissed off, but like, okay, you guys already have a
Yeah.
secret code. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he goes to grab. Jamie goes to pour her another glass of wine when hers is empty, and Tim DeFranco takes the wine bottle from him and says, "No, I got it." And
Yeah.
that's all you need to say in a situation like that to just be like, chill. Hey, it happened 2 weeks in a row.
Look at that.
The house phone has rung.
You know,
Um,
and I plugged the fucking thing in for no reason, but now is a good time for me to mention that your phone has been making sound effects.
I know.
So,
I usually silent the thing. I just keep moving it further away
but I
from
was
the mic.
very, very impressed with your multitasking early before, and this is what makes the podcast with the recently deceased so authentic. Shit happens, guys. So
Yeah.
we're gonna move this to the BTS.
Yeah. All right. So it's the next day, and Millie is giving Tim a ride to the train station. She drops him off. He's got his gear. She's driving away. As soon as she drives away, his blackout starts, the same blackout he had in the shower, and he knows kind of what it is. He feels it, and he does not like it. He immediately starts to have a panic attack. He's popping Valium. We did forget to mention the scene with
He
the
goes to see the
psychiatrist.
psychotherapist. He has a
Yes.
history of mental illness. I was slightly afraid. Please do not make this a metaphor for whatever psychological disorder he has, and they didn't do it.
Yep.
It's just here really more as a device, and really just explain the Valium. The Valium is going to be
Yes.
a muscle relaxer that's what they need. It's not his mental disorder that's important. It's the Valium, and they have to explain it into the film.
Right.
So I didn't mind it. But I want to bring up here that I enjoyed that he got infected first before she did, because he's going to be like hey, what's going on with this weird, we'll call it mildew shit for now. Our lips sticking together, our legs sticking together. They didn't fuck in the bathroom yet. And even after they do, they bring up something else. They bring up issues with their relationship and not the horror elements that's happening. At that point, I was a little like, okay, come on. I realize as soon as you talk about it, the movie's going to start to end. But there's some weird shit going on, and we need to talk about that.
Right.
So I felt that her conversation, pushing that stuff off to the side, was a little forced when it happened. But I forgave it and stand by my 8. It did not lower the score.
All right. So before we move on to the next scene, because Steven's already alluded to it a half a dozen times, we have to not backtrack, but we're going to tell you about a sprinkle of things that have happened. The dogs at the beginning was a search party for two missing hikers that were not found.
That's right.
In Franco's character Tim's downtime in the
He starts
movie,
to,
he's
yes.
he's constantly researching these two missing hikers.
It almost becomes like a vendetta for him. Like he becomes like a
Yeah, it's
personal
like I
conflict.
gotta find these guys. He zooms in on a picture. The bell path the bell is in the picture,
And
right?
it's yes,
So
and
he
it's not
knows
because
that.
he's a man child chasing an unrealistic dream that has nothing to do at home.
Yes.
He's on the right path.
Yes, he knows what's going on. All right. So we cut to Millie teaching her students. She dismisses the class as she looks out the window. She sees Dave Franco wandering around the playground.
But before she does, hold on a second. She goes up to this one lingering student, and you know I love drawings in
Oh,
horror
right, right,
movies.
right.
She's making a drawing, and she says, what is that, like your dog, your family, whatever the fuck she says.
Your dog, yeah.
And it's two dogs melded together,
By
but
the
like
face,
in
yeah.
a sketch that an artistically talented student would draw.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I
And
fucking
she
love
goes,
that.
what is that, your dog? And the kid goes, not anymore. And runs away and leaves the picture on the desk.
Oh, he's
It was
so good,
so creepy.
so good.
All right, so she finds him out there, and he looks like shit.
And
And
she's concerned when
she's
she
like,
sees him.
what's going on? You can't
And
be
it
here.
pushes the horror of the drawing away, because now, okay, this really creepy thing that might be relevant to me just happened, and I'm going to ignore it because my very real, very prevalent, very upfront, top priority, what the fuck is thisness,
Yeah,
just showed up
yeah,
in the form of her boyfriend outside the window.
yeah. And she pulls him into the school. She pulls him into the bathroom. He's like, I'm burning for you, yearning for you. I need you.
There is
And
a physical, I don't want to say illness, but physical symptoms. He is
yeah.
sweating
Oh
profusely.
yeah.
He looks like he's on drugs.
It's
which I'm
looks like
thinking
withdrawal, absolutely.
here, yeah, that maybe if he had a mental disorder and he's been on Valium before or other prescription pills before, maybe this is something she has seen, which the writers, actors, and directors trust us not to tell us,
Right.
but she feels almost rightfully concerned
Yep.
as she drags him into the bathroom, and all of that is just shown to us and not beating us over the head. Another nod to the excellence of this movie.
Yep. And at this point, she has gone months without sex, as far as we know, and she says,
Is that D?
you know what, fuck it. They go into a
Is that dick?
stall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go into a stall. They do their
You're a
thing.
teacher by in a bathroom, by a playground. Oh, that's right, in the wrong fucking gender
Yeah, men's
bathroom.
yeah, boys' bathroom.
Yeah, she's in the boys' bath. Not even the men's bathroom because you're on the school. It's not even
Yeah,
the men's bathroom. It's a boys' bathroom.
bathroom. Yeah, yeah. There's a
Well,
line.
remember that when we were in school, there were boys, girls, men, women,
Yeah,
or boys, girls, faculty.
faculty. Yeah, the
Yeah, she did
the
not
li-
use the faculty restroom.
the line from Millie later is, "What were you thinking? You could have gotten me fired or worse,
Arrested.
arrested." Like,
Facts.
yeah.
Facts.
Um, so anyway, so the deed is done, and they're trying to separate and put their clothes on and get out of this bathroom, but he's stuck. He's
I resent movies that don't show penises. We see
right
asses, breasts all the
all
time.
the time.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall's one of the few movies that I know of that shows a penis, and it's kind of fucking hilarious.
It's
In that
it's one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
it is, and in this movie, if it's a horror movie, if we don't see it, and we do, and it's fucking painful.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a great shot. Actually, it's short, but it is a great shot
Effective.
of the stretching as they're trying to separate, and the obvious pain as that appendage is being pulled on with a serious amount of force. Yeah,
So this is where
not to
my
mention.
concern kicked in, where she's not gonna mention it, but I think this is where my point was before is now becoming relevant here. For her, it's just maybe it's a fluke thing. The mildew connection thing is not a problem for her yet. It's a problem for him because he's experiencing the other symptoms of it, where she's only experiencing one symptom of it, the stuckness.
Yeah.
So she's not going to bring it up yet.
So, uh, when they were having fun just a moment ago, she gets very serious all of a sudden. Like, this is not a joke. Like, you have to get out of me right now. And he's still like, I'm trying.
Because
And
no,
just like,
because there's feet outside the
oh yeah.
stall. There in the stall, there's feet there,
Well,
and
yeah,
she's like, so she hushes him,
yeah,
and holy fuck, it's bad if it's an adult, but it's way worse if it's a
yeah.
child.
Then
And then the leave,
the feet run
and
away.
then
And now the desperation, she covers his mouth and says, "I'm sorry," and just pulls off. And yeah, he squeaks and his face turns red, and oh my god.
I thought the movie was going to be, and I'm so glad it didn't happen. I thought something cheap was going to happen. I thought he was going to, say something, like, oh, what's your problem? And he didn't. And it's just this movie, so much trust in the
Yeah.
audience. I fucking loved it.
So there's a teacher comes back and kind of clears his throat after Franco hops up on the toilet, so his feet aren't seen. And she comes out. Luckily for her, it's Jamie. And
But he's addressing a student's concern, so the student is with him.
right, the student's with him, but it's Jamie. And we as the
Right.
audience are like, oh, it's the creepy guy who's trying to fuck her. This is a great. This is the guy she wanted to find him. If there was any guy she wanted to find him, it's
It's
this
the
guy.
friend.
It's
She's not
this guy.
busted. She's not going to jail.
Yeah. So he tells the kid that everything's fine, and the kid runs off and not to worry about it. And
Well, because he says that she might want to clean up,
clean up. He sees
and there's a trail of blood
coming down her
going
leg.
down her thigh,
Yep.
which later he's going to pretend to assume. I really honestly believe he's full of shit. He fucking knows what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh, female issues, don't worry about it. Like he's pretending to be embarrassed
Yeah.
and shy about it. Not female problems, and he fucking knows it.
Yeah.
Um, but that's what's the trail of blood is happening here, where he like gets the kid out of the bathroom.
Yeah, and yeah, right. He does turn his head at the last second and see Franco's foot come off the toilet.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Which once again, I honestly think that scene was only, or that shot was only in the movie to further the audience's perception of this guy trying to bang Alison Brie, and not necessarily that he's got this other motivation.
I don't know about that because he sees this was such a beautiful shot. Like they should show the shot like film school or some shit. We see him seeing his feet come down from the stall, so he doesn't. It's not a revelation. Now it's just confirmed. But then we see Millie seeing Jamie seeing Tim's foot
Right.
come down.
That's right.
So I think it's more than just
Well,
the
that
non-caring misdirection thing. I
yeah.
think it's
Well, when she and Jamie lock eyes, and now it's like, I know that you know that you know that I know, happens.
yeah.
That is also the impetus for her to go to his house to
Yeah,
make
it's
to
what
make
is
the
this motivations?
yeah,
I gotta do some work now. I gotta clean this up.
I gotta go make the follow-up
Tension,
apology. Yeah.
and this tension is now just gonna be another on top of all the stuff that's already been happening.
Yep.
Their relationship, the beginning of the stuckness. Now we got tension of just the dynamics that has been established in this movie. It's gonna start to snowball. We're gonna get towards the ending of this film.
Yep. So we do go back home to their home, and she's like, "Go inside and do whatever. I'm gonna go clean up your mess, like I always fucking do. I'm starting to feel like your mother." And he's like, "What do you mean by that?" And she's like, does she say I'm sleeping?
I know exactly what she says.
Say it. Say it.
So earlier on, when he's telling her about the father and the rats, I don't know if it was a dream sequence or something that happened, but something about how because of the rat situation, the whole dad thing, there was something where his mom, he goes into their room and his dad is dead. Am I making this up?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay,
his
so
mom
this
is
is so
there.
this is Tim's backstory. That dream, he walks into their room. The dad is dead, and the mom's been there, and apparently she's been living there for about 3 days, next to this dead body. Because as soon as she woke up to him dead the first morning, her brain something snapped, and she
But
just
very similar to the rats, that the gradual process of the rats being cooked in the filament. Now his mom is doing something very similar, where I'm next to a dead guy, and it's
right.
just gradually getting worse. And here's one of those lines that fucking cuts so damn deep. I felt that shit. Millie says to Tim, I feel like your mom is, and he's like, innocently, like how? I feel like I'm living with something dead.
Yeah. Like, whoa, that was
Probably one of the scariest lines I think in anything that we've reviewed so far. I
oh,
can't
it's
offhand. I
definitely
can't think of a
it's
scarier line.
definitely one of the most brutal, sickest burns I've ever heard. Like, oh my god, like
I
if
trust
his
you. I'm telling you something so vulnerable
yeah,
that is such an insight into who I am and why I am. And then, bam, you just like a fucking knife. I think, honestly, in the movie theater, I really, really do. I think like I went like this and pulled like the knife the knife that wasn't there out of my back. Like it was
yeah,
bad. It
that
was
that
so good.
that line was brutal to hear.
Mhm.
So she gets to Jamie's, and uh, she goes, she innocently apologizes. He pretends he has no idea what's going on, and is like, "No, it's fine. You want to come in for a drink?" She, they go in, and he serves her the water. They have a conversation now about her relationship a little bit, and then he tells her about his relationship.
Oh, I got this great wedding video.
And they've got a great wedding
That would be a
video.
great time for me to show it to you.
And he tells her, well, so this is where it's revealed that he's married to a man. And now
Oh, great.
the audience can breathe easy. They're like, oh, he is just a friend. What a
So great. I'm going to
what
try
a
to stay present, but it's so great and it's so relevant later in the movie. It's
what
so
what
fucking
a great friendly neighbor. And
yeah,
in this moment,
innocent.
you see that he has two wedding rings on, and you're like, oh, his husband died, and he's wearing
So I
both
didn't
wedding
see the
rings.
two wedding rings.
Eh,
I
eh,
didn't see the two lampshades. I
Yeah,
didn't see the two anything.
yeah, and
I need to go see together again.
I'm not thinking outside the box here. I'm so engrossed.
Hmm.
The there is no way that I'm gonna get pulled away from this movie to even think for a moment that this could be a bad guy or an antagonist in this film.
Yeah,
All I'm
yeah,
thinking is like, wow, he is a really good friend. Oh, that's so sad that his partner died and he wears both
yeah,
wedding rings. That's all I thought at this moment.
yeah. Yeah, and
She's
we don't see the wedding video yet because
right.
Millie's going to see Tim again. Now,
Yes.
outside of school where she works, where she almost cost him his job,
He's like in the
outside of
bushes.
outside of the neighbor coworker that's
Yeah.
not going to get her arrested.
Right.
So she has to get out of there. We don't see the wedding video. When the wedding video comes up, I have so many questions for you, Haas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't
What's
wait. I
next?
can't wait. We're getting close. We're getting close.
Yep.
One of the best series of scenes in the movie is coming up though,
It's
and
so
it's
beautifully laid out.
oh yeah.
And here's that first step they don't even realize was the foundation was laid to, beautifully laid out right here, and what you just think is the progression of the movie.
Right.
So good.
So she sees him outside. She goes out and she grabs him and she pulls him away, and they start walking back to their house. And she says, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I didn't know what to do."
Man child 4.0,
I didn't
5.0
know.
at this point.
I didn't know what to do. And then outside the house,
I don't know. Go get a fucking job, Tim. Maybe I
yeah,
don't know. Go apply at the gas station
yeah.
for mop a fucking floor, fucker.
So they're outside the house, and they have their first together moment of being pulled towards each other in the gravel,
Because
right?
she just came out of Jamie's house
Yeah.
and she just had some water when he asked her, "You sure you don't want something stiffer?" Huh?
Yeah.
But she had the water. It's in her.
Yeah. Um, and this is more Franco. This is a little bit Millie, but mostly Tim. As and she's
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing?" And he's like writhing and getting pulled across the gravel. Um, and he,
Oh, that was so good.
yeah, it was a good scene. And she still thinks he's being a fucking weirdo
The
about whatever this
telekinesis
is.
before the transmogrification.
Yeah.
Oh man, I loved it.
So they get in the house, and it kind of cuts to him in his office again, and I think he's doing hiker research this time instead of playing guitar. And
Yeah, his new obsession. He
yeah,
doesn't give a shit about. So
well, okay,
I don't. He doesn't. I don't want to say he doesn't give a shit about his music because I'm sure he does.
but
But it's not the priority.
it's not a priority. This what's
It's not
going
the
on is a
quest. It's not
priority.
the obsession.
He knows there's something wrong. He can't convince Millie that there's something wrong, but he knows that there's something wrong, and he doesn't know how to fix it. Um, so he actually checks in on Millie first, and she's already asleep. That's when he goes to his office and starts going to the hiker Facebook page again.
Is this that scene in the trailer where they're going to bed in different rooms and you see them closing a door? That's not yet, right? Because
That's literally the next scene
that's the next scene because there's
So
going to be some creepy shit that's about to happen.
about to happen, right? And I think this might be where he discovers the bell. He might not have discovered the bell earlier. I think he discovers the bell here because the
Yeah,
next
I
time he
think
brings it up, he's like, "I know that cave has the solution. I know that
Yep.
cave has our answers."
Yep.
And she's like, "No, we're going to the fucking hospital, you idiot."
Right. She's supposed to be an adult,
Yeah.
and I love it because it was my fear that she's going to push what's really happening in the conversation that needs to happen further down the road, but it's real.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not going back to a cave, you dipshit.
We're going to a hospital. There's
We're
something
seeking
wrong with
medical
us.
attention.
Yeah.
We're doing what adults do,
Yeah.
dumbass.
So he's sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear like a slam, and he turns, and Millie's head and body is up against the glass of the full glass doors, and she's just like vibrating, trying to get through it.
Shit's coming to fruition,
Yeah.
folks.
You can see the red as the blood coming down the glass. He opens the thing, and she kind of comes to, and he's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, I don't know. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Like they did one of
They're asking
those.
what's happening to us, but and
Yeah.
like they do in the beginning of the movie, exactly how you pointed out, they're putting it on each other.
Yes, and they're fighting, and she says we should sleep in separate rooms tonight. And he goes, I think that's a great idea. And he's not supposed to smile from that because she's saying it as a punishment, and you could tell she's taken aback by his agreement because she doesn't want him to agree. She wants him to fight about it because she actually wants them to sleep together.
And this is the awesomeness about him being exposed sooner, first, and longer. I don't think he is being emotionally distant from her. I think he's wrapping his head around the together paradigm problem that now they're both experiencing way before she does. I think he's saying, yes, this is what we need to do strategy logic wise.
Right, right,
So he's operating logically, she's reacting emotionally.
right.
And that, again, so beautifully, so subtly stated in what happens, and we get to experience it again. Another nod.
So she goes to bed in the main room, and he goes into another room and leaves the door open. This scene will have Tim being pulled out of bed. He's sliding across the floor. He wakes up like that. It's happening while he's asleep. He
Yeah.
manages to wedge himself against some like bump outs in the wall,
Yep.
and then her door starts to vibrate
Yep.
and clicks open. And
Yep.
now she's awake. What's happening? She's getting pulled towards him.
Yep.
Their hands meet and they go inside each other and they kind of do get about this far, and they're just like pushing away from each other. And he's like, the drawer. The drawer has my Valium in it, my muscle relaxers.
Which the doctor, in his excellent exposition, sounded very robotic, like a doctor, just explaining what it does. Great exposition for the audience, why this is going to be what we needed, and it's the only reason why the prescription is there.
And there's a great.
They need to get to these fucking pills.
There's some good comedy here that breaks the tension for a second. In the doctor's office, he writes a prescription. Tim looks at it and sees that it says diazepam. It says, "Oh, Valium," and the doctor says it's called diazepam now. So,
Yes.
So Millie will reach up and pull the bottle out. It knocks on the floor. She looks at it and she goes, "Valium," and he goes, "It's called diazepam now." As they're like stuck together. So anyway,
Yes.
the bottle.
Yes.
She tries to open the bottle. She screams, "Fucking child locks!" They have to do it together, teamwork. Opens the bottle. Pills.
So good.
Pills,
So good.
Pills scatter everywhere. They're just taking little diazepams.
Just take all of them.
He starts crunching them up. He's like, "Sniff them. It'll work faster."
It'll be better if we snort them.
Yeah.
Which is, see, he does have a past with
A pass.
pills.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
definitely.
how the fuck do you know that? I didn't know. I wouldn't know that unless I drove addicts for 10 years that told me that shit. I
Right.
wouldn't fucking know.
Yeah.
To crush pills and snort it because it's better, faster, stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So good.
This is my-
Everything there is so
reminds
good.
me of my Xanax days. All right.
Do you snort your Xanax?
I mean, I have, but it was a long time ago. I'm way too old now for that kind of stuff.
I'm way too old for everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So they pull themselves apart,
Yes.
and
Kind of good to know that the process, takes time.
yeah,
And if they fight it and if they involve some chemicals, that it can be done. So good to know.
so-
You're not completely fucked.
so they go from this.
Yeah.
They pull out and
Yeah.
they somehow end up like this. And
Yeah.
And right in between the forearms is a skin that they can't seem to get that last little bit pulled out.
So when they're moving in and she asks him to unpack something, he unpacks a power saw,
Yeah.
and he, in his man-childness,
A reciprocating
it's
saw.
something his dad had, and they could work on the house together because, like you said, they're homeowners now. We're gonna need to build shit, fix shit,
Sure.
and so he pulls the trigger, and if you've never operated one, it gets away from you.
Yep.
So now she's like, this needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, this psychotic bitch, where did she come from? And she's like, and then it kicks back on her. And she's like, it has to happen. They're going back in.
Yeah.
And is this where they have the conversation about where they're going to seek medical attention? Because
It's coming up. It's right after the next scene. So Franco passes out in the hallway when they're on the floor still, and when he comes to, He comes to sitting on a chair, facing Millie. Millie is sitting on his lap,
Taped,
facing him,
taped,
and
taped down
he's
to
taped
chair.
down to the chair. Yeah,
I
and
was hoping that you would sleep through this.
yeah, I was.
Is what
Oh,
she says.
he wakes up.
So,
He goes. Oh, I was hoping you'd sleep through this.
so when you mix adulting with real life horror movie fucking problems, that's what that looks like.
Yeah,
So, who's the crazy one now?
yeah. So she's like, the pills are gonna wear off. He feeds him another pill. He opens his mouth. She pours whiskey down his throat. She's
A
like,
little bit of whiskey for the pain. And when I'm seeing the trailer, and they show that in the trailer, I'm thinking that's really fucked up if he's an alcoholic.
yeah.
And we don't know if he is or isn't, but
She makes a
he's got
couple
some.
jokes. She says, "Oh, he'll drink anything." When Jamie says, "I hope you drink red." There's a few jokes.
Okay, so he does. Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah.
brutal.
So they start to cut. They scream in pain, and we cut away to them both sitting on the floor, arms bandaged up, completely exhausted. One of them is eating chicken. Tim's eating chicken. He kind of shows it to her. She's like, shakes her head. She's
This
eating
no. Don't glance by that. They're on opposite sides
of the kitchen,
of
or the kitchen
kitchen.
floor. Yeah,
There's a structure in between them, presumably, and I wish they would have done a quick overhead shot to establish it. They can't see through it. It's not like they have like drawers open and like the inside is gutted out and they can see each other. They can see each other because of their connection. One of them offers something that they're eating, the other person just instinctively knows. And yes, you could do that in real life without being stuck together the way that they are. You can pick up on each other's energy, slight breath sounds, body language. They offer, and the other person says no. And here's where, isn't this where the mildew line is? Where the mildew callback line is?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, she offers him, and he says no, and
I just felt like there was
oh
great
no,
comedy.
no, no. I think we missed it. I think we missed the mildew line. I think that might have been outside before the scene in the office when they were having their little argument outside, where
It's
she's like, "Are you talking about the mildew?" And he's like, "What the fuck do I know about mildew?"
so it's great because first they have a conversation, which you think it's going to be about the togetherness, and she pushes off and she talks about relationship stuff, and then they have a conversation. I want to say either around the time that they're being pulled together or maybe immediately after. So I feel it's around here somewhere. And she starts to talk about the mildew. And he's like, mildew? Exactly like we just said, what the fuck do I know about
What the fuck
mildew?
do I know about mildew? Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
around
It
here.
was
It's
around
around here
here.
somewhere. And now they're in the kitchen offering food at the other person. And I feel this is the first time we see, and I don't feel it's because of the togetherness. I feel they are very, very much in love in this movie. I feel here's where the love romance story
Yeah.
starts to come out and starts to show.
Yeah.
Whatever he had to get over, whatever she had to get over, this problem is going to bring them together, and it's the first time we see it here in the kitchen.
Right, which is then completely, I think, reversed in just a moment. Because the next scene, they're back in front of the house, and she's saying, "Okay, we're gonna go to the emergency room," and she's like, "Just don't go anywhere." Um, is this now? This can't be now.
I feel like this is the conversation where we're stuck together. We just ripped ourselves apart with a saw. We're going to the emergency
We're
room.
going to the emergency room. No, that she says that.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, she goes to Jamie's first.
Does she?
Yeah, yeah. She doesn't get in the car. She goes to
I know,
Jamie's.
I know we get to see Jamie's wedding video,
Yeah, she
which
goes.
I have so many questions about.
I don't remember why she does this, but she goes to Jamie's first.
Yeah, no. Oh fuck. She tricks him. She lies to him. Where she takes.
Doesn't she dump him too, right here?
I think she gets.
Because we missed
she
that
gets-
scene. I think we missed
to
that
him
scene.
and says something to the effect of, you need to do this because of this, and like she hauls ass
Right.
and gets to him.
Yeah, and she said,
Jamie.
but she also says, "Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything stupid." And
Which
as soon
great
as
line.
Yeah.
But a little bit of horror movie tropeness,
Yeah.
very, very a dash. You know he's going to do something stupid.
As soon
But
as she's out of shot.
It's
He's
such a great relationship, woman to man line, that it's awesome.
yeah.
We're not bothered by it.
Yeah, as soon as she's out of shot, he runs full speed to the cave. So we're getting this. It goes back and forth. Scene at Jamie's scene at the cave. She kind of Jamie's door is ajar, so she walks right in. The video is playing of the marriage. Go to the cave. He's walking through the cave. He's got a flashlight. He hears some noise. Now he's walking through. He's walking deeper, and we're into more of a like a procession in a church where there's like lots of pew rows now, and we see more pews in the walls and some more broken furniture and stuff. Um, and then we come back to Jamie, and she watches the marriage where he marries his partner, but she's surrounded by cult members. They're surrounded by cult members. They go into the church before the flood put it underground, which was Jamie's story from earlier. We
Mm-hmm.
see the bell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and Jamie shows up at the
Now,
end of
what's great about
at
this
the end of
wedding
the video.
video is that it's, what we think of as like America's Funniest Home Video quality home videos, where it's Jamie, but now if we're doing a deep dive and we're in spoiler territory and we know what we know now at the end of the movie, what did they do to make Jamie look different? And can we get a zoom in when I watched together for the second time on his fiance, soon to be husband? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah,
So he's got a rounder, smoother face than the one he's got now,
yeah,
and his husband has a somewhat more pointed,
yeah.
angled kind of nose.
Also,
You know,
his picture, he's not wearing glasses, and the husband is wearing glasses.
great catch,
But Jamie in the present is wearing glasses.
great catch.
Yeah,
So yeah, you're not getting necessarily best of both worlds. Sometimes you're getting the worst of both worlds. Sometimes, which is why I just absolutely love that he's in a just in a gay marriage, in a loving gay relationship,
yeah,
because it's two men, so we don't know that he's two people. He's two
yeah,
transmogrified people,
yeah.
and
He has become one with his soulmate, according to the stuff the cult believes. The cult believes that you were born with 4 arms, 2 heads, 4 legs, and
yeah,
that's
they go by that Greek
yeah.
thing that they said, where we have 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 heads, and
Zeus, in his fear that humans would be too powerful, he
yes,
split them into two. So we're
so fucking
constantly
great,
searching for the other half.
so great,
Um,
just so awesome.
yeah,
What a great fucking line. But I want to just I guess it comes on special effects that they got the casting, they got this guy, that Jamie, the actor, he has his face, and then the special effects guys on the home video of their wedding rounds out his face, gets another actor that has those pointed features, and it's done so seamlessly.
and the
I
pencil.
have so many questions about how they did it, and more than questions, I guess it's just great job, guys. Just
Yeah,
holy fuck. So much work that we don't even see and that we may not appreciate. So well done. How do you make a great movie when it comes, especially with special effects? You give a shit.
yeah,
These guys gave a shit,
yeah.
and they nailed it.
They nailed it. Uh, he's gonna say some things about you just have to do you love him? She already asked that. He already asked her that. She said yes. She's like, you two are meant to be together. You just have to surrender. And then he gets close enough. He uses his rings to cut her forearm all the way down the arm, which they did to each other in the wedding video. Him and his husband did it to each other with the ring like that
Okay.
before they were put into the water.
For me, it was just again something I want to pay attention to the second time around. For
Yeah.
me, it was a horror movie thing. It was a cut. It was blood. It was so yeah. But there's meaning behind it, and
Yeah.
obviously later on it's going to be really really relevant. But
Well,
right now in the moment, I'm like, okay, this is scary because it's visceral.
well, he cut really deep. You kind of wonder if he intended to cut that deep, but then I guess it kind of forces Tim's hand in what he does next. Tim gets
Yeah.
back to the car just as she gets back to the car.
And they say we got to stay apart. Don't I think this is the
Yeah,
part where they say
yeah,
we got to stay apart? And the other person says like no shit.
yeah, yep. And oh, and this is where they're getting pulled together across the bench, like the stone
Yeah,
bench on the
and
doorway.
they're gonna swap notes. And yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I've been there. He went to the cave.
She's like, "Oh, you went to the cave?" He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, figures."
But I feel like there's almost a shorthand that's developed between the two characters because of their, I'm going to call it their kitchen connection. Now they have the connection where they don't need to over explain everything. There's just a shorthand. We know what's going on, almost like we could pick up on each other's thoughts.
Yeah,
The way people in a loving relationship should already be doing, but they weren't in until now.
right. So, uh, they get together on the bench, and she's dying, and she passes out from
But
blood
there's that
loss.
gravel. They're
Oh,
they're being pulled together across the
sorry.
gravel, and I feel it.
We got to go back. All right.
Oh, we're going back.
So when the Jamie cut happens, we got to cut back to the cave. That noise that Tim hears out of the corner as he sees the the pseudo melding of the two hikers, this disgusting mass of two beings stuck together in the middle, and their
I have
heads
questions.
stuck together, and the knife in the side of one of them, and he pulls the knife out, and I think he stabs it like once or twice before he runs away too. So just a nice scene to show off the practical effects of a monster suit. You know, a botched
That's
transmogrification, which
that's it.
Jamie alludes to in his half of this sequence, where he says, you just gotta surrender to it and go with it. You would not like the alternative."
Thank you for pointing it out because that was my question, and my beautiful human and I were talking about it after, and we didn't catch that line, and we're like, okay, spoilers, super super spoiler. How come there's a successful transmogrification at the end of the movie, and did it need to be evolved? Did it something that we had to work to? No, because Jamie had a successful transmogrification.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Why was this one botched? Thank you for that explanation, Haas.
So the answer to why is, yeah. I mean, I think they just fought it, or they were not each other's soulmate.
The
Technically,
hikers fought it, or it wasn't meant to be.
yeah, it wasn't meant
And
to be.
if it's the
So
second one, if it wasn't meant to be, then this movie is super, super a love story.
yeah.
Let me know when we're back to the gravel because I'm going to make a vulnerable
Oh,
confession when
we're
we get
back.
back.
We're back to the gravel. We are back.
At the gravel, they're, at a certain point, they're just not able to resist the magnetic pull that they have to each other, and they say everything that should have been said, all the the awkward proposal, all that build up to this moment comes out. I'm getting emotional in the movie theater,
Right.
and I'm like, fuck. And what are we going to do? And the solution that they come up with, which I remember how I felt. You know how people won't remember what you say, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
I remember how the movie made me feel. I really, this is the first time, and I'm going to get to my scores about 5 minutes from now. This is the first time I wish I was like, please just make the screen go black and just roll credits. This is so fucking good.
Right.
Where they just talk about their love for each other and how they've always felt for each other.
Yeah.
The movie really really hit me in a way I thought a horror movie never could.
Right.
Like obviously you're dealing with scary shit, and this every horror movie should take advantage of this. The real connection between two human beings, and one of them's dying, wounded, mortally wounded, whatever. This movie's so good, and it hit me in the best possible way. Absolutely fantastic scene here, to the point where this is the first time I wish credits would have ended right here.
Right.
Perfect. You're done. You're good. It's a 9.5.
Yeah. You
Let's take it away.
you don't need to show us what happens. We can get there on our own. I mean, the fact that you did wasn't bad. It wasn't wrong. It just would have ended on the highest emotional note, as opposed to, I mean, not that it doesn't still get good. Like the next scene, so Alison Brie, Millie passed out,
But we
and
agree that part is the highest emotional arc of the film.
yeah,
If it had ended there, Millie's dead and Tim goes on, and that sucks.
Yeah.
and we have to deal with that in our minds. But
Right.
the movie keeps going, and it's still awesome.
Yep.
What's
So Millie passed out, and she comes to, and they're in a room in their house. It looks like maybe the dining room, and he moved the table out of the way, or they're back in the kitchen. There's a lot of natural light in this scene, which I really enjoyed, because a lot of this movie happens during the day, which is also really really nice.
mm-hmm.
Um, and she says, "No, Tim, what are you doing?" And he says, "It's the only way.
So good.
It's the only way." And I think this is where he does the same fake proposal she did. Um, if
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Fuck,
and she
so
says,
good.
and she like starts to cry, and she says yes, and they put their hands together like this, and they start to take their clothes off, and just hold each other, and the camera
They're
spins just
surrendering, and
yeah,
they're making love and surrendering at the same time.
yep. There's cameras spinning around them and slowly spinning around them, and they're melding, and this is CG here, and honestly, it didn't look very good. But you know what? I didn't care. Like
It
I
was
I was literally just like, I don't care. I'm so happy that they're melding at the end of this movie. Like, I'm so happy. Like I just don't care that the CG was kind of a little on the hokey side.
it was a little time copy. There was a little
Yeah,
bit,
it was
time
just
copy.
yeah,
Two things can't occupy the same space,
yeah,
and it's the beginning of CGI, and time cop didn't give a shit enough
yeah,
to make it as good as Independence Day.
yeah.
So it's the reverse of that. Somebody watched that and said, okay, what if we did the reverse of this and
Yeah.
made it awesome? So
So
yeah, I get that criticism. I don't disagree with it. I don't give a shit.
yep, didn't pull me
You
out.
Great shot. There's a beautiful shot before I don't want to call it a blob, but before they start melding into this blob, before we see what the result is. There's a great shot. They used it in the trailer of their eyes and their eyelashes
Right, right.
joining together. It's such a beautiful shot, and that's the shot where I wish for the second time, after the eyes start to come together, fuck,
Credits.
go black roll credits.
Yeah, go black roll credits.
Perfect, right there.
So there, and they kept going because there's a plot point that is not yet tied up, which is they have mentioned a few times.
Like
My
twice before.
parents are coming on Sunday for lunch.
Yeah, I don't know if it was my parents, our parents, your parents.
No, it was definitely Millie's parents. So
Somebody's parents.
we get to they're almost completely melded, and the screen just cuts away to a car pulling up in the driveway. Um, the older couple comes out. Millie's
How do you
parents,
feel about the car
presumably.
pulling up to the driveway, Haas?
So what? There was something that they saw out there, right? And they thought was weird.
Because I'm kind of amazed you gave it a 9, because I thought you were going to have the same concern I had. I wasn't crazy about. I would have get rid of the lines, the one or two times that it's mentioned in the film. Get rid of the lines about the parents coming. Cut right there.
Yeah.
I do not want the car coming up at all. I don't want it.
All right. Well, it comes up, and they go up to the front door. They knock on the door, and
Fuck Steven. He doesn't get what he wants. The car comes up.
they knock on the door, and we know that the actor playing Jamie is a the combination of
Yeah, he's an amalgam.
yeah
He's an
amalgam, yep.
amalgamation of him and his husband.
And so we're just like, what is this going to look like? And the door opens, and yeah, that's probably what they would look like. Mostly Allison here. We got Franco's big eyebrows, and well, no, the hair's dark, so that's Allison. But,
So, what I love about this, I understand why they put it in. I understand why they left it in. And I don't think it's bad. Here's where I'm about to go off the rails. Rein me back in if you have to. Here's what I love about the homosexual relationship versus the heterosexual relationship. It was two men, so we didn't know that Jamie is an amalgam, that he's an amalgamation throughout the movie.
Sure.
That's what I loved about it. However, here's why I felt could have been great. I got to give a little bit of context first. Karate Kid happens. They shoot the end. They shoot to Mr. Miyagi. It's done. Karate Kid 2 happens, and they open it up to Kreese freaking out in the parking lot immediately after Daniel wins the belt, because they shot it when they shot Karate Kid 1, but they left it on the floor and they picked it up for the sequel. This movie would have been a 9 if I got my version, the Karate Kid version, if they cut out after the eyeballs and then start the sequel with the parents' car pulling up with the amalgam of Millie and Tim. We can call them Mim or Tilly or whatever the fuck you want. Tamilly. So Tamilly answers the door, and then bam, cut to a completely different couple. If it's the parents because they're going to drink the water, or if it's somebody else because we got to be somewhat corporate in our sequel strategy. That would have been such a great way to open up Together Again, or whatever you want to call the sequel. It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
It's scary as fuck, and it would have connected the two movies, and it would have made the first movie, in retrospect, with all the trust that we have in the audience, even better. And they didn't do it, and they put a cap on it, and they encapsulated it, and they told the entire thing that they wanted to tell, which is their right as creators to do so. But did I enjoy it? No. Would I have preferred it end on the high emotional arc or the eyes joining? Yes. That's my 9, and that's my explanation as to why I gave 2 scores for it together.
What I did enjoy about the end, the way it happened, was when it pans through the to the house before it goes to the driveway. There are 3 places set, um, instead of 4 at the table. So,
You sick.
so,
Okay, that makes it better. I
so,
might I might kick it up to an 8.5. That makes it better.
so I take the stance that they're going to tell Millie's
Oh,
parents that they have combined, and imagine that conversation. Like, you invite your parents over and you're like,
okay.
we got engaged. You invite your parents over, we're pregnant.
We,
You
we
invite
did
your
we took
parents
the
over,
plunge.
we took the plunge, right?
We took the
We took
plunge.
the
It ends on
plunge.
their social media post. We took the
We took
plunge,
the
which
plunge.
again, just one of those beautiful things that became part of the narrative of this movie
Right.
that you don't notice in the beginning is what they're doing. So great.
Um, but how do you invite your parents over to tell them that
Are 2 people.
you melded with your spouse?
It's a little it's a little fucking off.
Yeah. What do you serve?
I feel like a lesser horror movie would have been, whatever, you cut your arm off and sew another person's arm onto you. A lesser horror movie would have done that. But it makes what that conversation makes me think of that. Like, how the fuck do you explain that?
Yeah.
Same thing here. This is not more cool or less. I don't know. Let's talk about surrender and joining with another person. Have you ever felt, Haas, at some point in your life, the person you love is mortally wounded? You could save them if you joined with them. Would you give up who you are as an individual to become
A two.
a one of two
I,
Borg unit and join with another person?
this I can answer in, and also give you my reasoning for the 9. Um, I would say yes. There was a point in my marriage where I felt that way, absolutely felt that way, 100% for my soon-to-be ex-wife. Um, and part 2 to that is this movie's primary theme is codependency. Um,
I was thinking separation anxiety, but yes,
yeah,
codependency, absolutely.
yeah. They are a codependent. They're in a codependent relationship. He needs her the same. Well, she might not need him as much as he needs her, but they need each
He
other.
needs to be loved. He needs to be parented.
Yeah, they feed off each other's insecurities and mental illness, borderline mental illnesses. Just this little idiosyncrasies, the things that we all share, especially when it comes to a heterosexual relationship. Um, and this is where it gets a 9 from me, is that I related so much to this movie in so many ways, every step of the way, and also something that's fresh for me. We've only been separated 10 months now, so it's still kind of fresh. Um, just at this point in my life, to watch this movie and to literally flash back to dozens of moments of my marriage. I That's why I had to go see it a second time. I was so distracted the first time I saw it from all of the all of the regurgitation, from my own personal history. Um,
Now, did you have the typical movie experience the first time with asshole audience members? The first time you watched it, or the second time you watched it?
if there was the first time was very lots of screams and gasps and all sorts of noise in the audience.
Okay.
Second time I watched it, it was just like me and like one other person.
Mhm.
I think it was just me and Sal. I don't think there was a single person in the theater.
Okay.
Um,
So you are taking Sal to multiple movies.
I have taken Sal. Sal, if I have the option to not go alone, I will not go alone. So
Really?
it's just like, all right, well, I want to go see this movie at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Who do I know who's free? Oh, Sal's free. Sal's.
I wish I had a, a very beautiful, elegant synopsis that you just provided, and I want to hear the rest of it. But I think this is where you and I differ. If I can go to a movie theater alone, I'm happy to do so. Now I have a beautiful human that I'm in a committed relationship with, and I cannot wait to go see Weapons with her tonight. I cannot fucking wait.
Yo,
But
weapons.
if it pops up where she's working, I'm not, and the podcast, and I got to watch a movie, I am not going to look for a Pit or a Sal or anybody else. For me, it's my beautiful human or no one else,
Yeah.
and I'm happy with that.
I mean, I don't mind going to the theater alone. I just, why not bring somebody if I can?
Okay.
Um, so, uh, yeah. So this
So this
movie,
movie right now in this time of your life,
yeah, I give Together a 9 out of 10, and yes, do I know that it's not really worth it? You know, that's why I know Bring Her Back is a better film, and why it didn't knock Bring Her Back out of the number one slot. I'm giving them both a 9, but I know that like Together is less than, you know.
oh man, for the sake of societal norms, I want to say sure, Nate, but I don't. I want to bust your balls. Maybe because of how much Bring Her Back just disturbed me, and I think it's a credit to this film that we did not go down any number of rabbit holes that we could have gone down, because this movie, like Bring Her Back, kept us on target talking about Together because of how excellent it was.
Oh yeah.
Um, I guess that's for the end of the year review, we could revisit this
Okay.
and all the possible movies that came for contention. Two questions: do you think in time, when you give this movie, because every movie is awesome when you first see it, and I know that's not what you're experiencing right now, is it possible we could revisit this movie later and say, you know what, it is better, it is my number one? And number two, do you think where we are sort of writing the sequel but not, are Tamili going to have regrets, or are they meant to be together, like Jamie and his husband? Are these couples meant to be together, and they're going to be?
Well,
Can you be
that's
happy ever after? Like,
yeah.
you're gonna get
So
some
that
weird.
so that's a very interesting question because Jamie is absolutely happy that they took the plunge.
He's very happy.
Um, to
They're very happy.
Tilly could be very happy that they took the plunge. What I enjoyed about this film, one specific moment that we did not cover, so let's do it now,
Mhm.
and could be the reason a sequel exists with the same characters as opposed to just doing a whole new batch of characters with the same kind of hole in the ground.
Do you think we're going to see Tamili again in
I'm
the sequel?
I'm thinking we can because of this one instance. After Jamie cuts Millie, she bashes him in the head to run away, and when she does, Jamie's partner kind of comes out of his head for a moment and then kind of has to get melded back in. So
Oh fuck! I'm going to go see this movie again.
so that alludes to some sort of way to potentially reverse the process. Um,
So we could see
so we could,
Allison Brie and Dave
yeah,
Falco. We could
Franco.
see we could see Millie and Tim, not
Yes,
just Tamili.
we could in a world where they want to sequel this and bring the same characters back instead of just recycling the plot device with new characters,
Do you get
Yes.
Millie in a room and you subject to an experiment where you focus on all their fears and insecurities and why they didn't work as a couple and bombard them with that to help with the separation process? That's my writing brain kick in. Is that how it's done?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Tilly is the couple to be separated. Maybe Tilly is kind of like Jamie, and is like an advisor to a bad couple that wants to separate. If we go to a sequel, because they have to tell their friends, and we have a pretty decent crop of friends that got a little bit of screen time, especially Millie's best friend, who who would be
Mm,
the one, definitely one of the characters to bring back.
yeah,
She
but is he worth it though? Um,
yeah, bring her back. She was great.
yeah, bring her. She was not a
Um,
cheerleader for Millie and Tim.
Mia Morrissey played Kath.
So, two questions: how much movie did this make, so that we know whether or not a sequel is coming? I can't imagine a world where it's not. And number two, do we need to mention the Spice Girls?
Oh my God, we definitely should because
I
I
was so afraid they were going to play Wannabe. I was like, fuck no.
no,
And
I knew it
so
immediately as soon as she said it's Spice Girls, and because I knew the plot of the movie, I was like, oh my God, Two Become One is going to
I was
be
like,
in this.
great, okay, I'm going to lose all fucking cred. I love To Become One by the Spice Girls. Great fucking song.
Yeah.
I was like, please play that song.
Yeah. As soon as it happened, I was like, because I knew what the movie was about, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna play that song.
I wasn't
Um,
happy about it, but I wasn't unhappy about it. It doesn't lower the score. It doesn't increase the score. For me, okay, what song can we play? And let's invent something. You know what? He's a musician. They would have talked about vinyl records, and she's a woman, so let's
well, he
she's
bought her
not
the
gonna
record
have
on their first date, right?
yeah, she's not gonna have the elevated taste in music that he's gonna like Bob Dylan and Jimi Hendrix, and she's gonna like I don't know the Spice Girls.
Yeah,
But you know what? The Spice Girls came up with some poignant, relevant shit, didn't they?
they had some hit bangers.
They had some hits.
So to the box office question, it was a $7 million budget, and they're estimating 14 million. Um, I hope that was at opening weekend, and I don't have a current box office total.
So are we
Um,
looking at like 50 million when it comes to like streaming and DVD sales and all that other shit?
yeah, I mean, and on a $7 million budget, I think there's no reason not to make a sequel. Once again, I believe it's probably the star power of Brie and Franco that gave it that box office. So you'd probably have to bring them back. But with a $7 million budget with both of them in it, their paychecks couldn't have been that high.
So let me just say here and now, pretty fucking please. Yeah, I imagine this was almost like a passion project between Dave, Allison, and Mike. Mike either enrolled them or
Right.
I would love to be privy to what those conversations were. I'd love to find out, how this movie got made, literally in the incubation stages before they started making it, before the technical decisions were made, the artistic decisions that were made. Let's get this movie made. Oh, guys, this can be great, and how they got on board for that. I would love to be privy to that. Let me just say here and now, Hollywood, pretty fucking please, do not bring back Dave Franco and Alison Brie doing their impression of Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt 20 years from now. Just fucking don't. Come up with a great original script that honors this movie. Do for Top Gun what Top Gun Maverick did, or do not fucking do it at all. Thank you.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I gave it a 9.
Guys, I'm Stephen Anthony from Dark Claw Studios. I give Together an 8.
And for the podcast for the recently deceased, I'm Hosferatu. You can find me at BasementMedia.Online.
BasementMedia.Online, you said?
Online.
Okay. So right should they go to darkclawstudios.com first, or should they go to darkclawstudios.com after? Because I feel like No One's Coming is the binge that they want to take. They want to take the plunge.
Yeah, so I think Dark Claw Studios first.
That's what I
Because
think.
you remember what you did, last probably better. So
That's what a fucked up thing to say.
thanks for tuning in. That was Together. Stay tuned for Weapons. We will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.